Bam, we're live. You know what I was thinking, Susan? What if we just like we're live on the air right now, but then we just hide ourselves and
A good one.
You ever, I used to have this friend, and we would drive in his pickup truck, and there would be three of us sitting in the front, three dudes on a bench seat, and the dude on the right, so that the two dudes in the middle were like sitting right next to each other. The dude on the right would put his head down really low, like in the other dude's laps, and then honk the horn. So it just looked like two dudes just sitting next to, and he was the strongest. The guy who would do that was the strongest one out of all of us, so we couldn't stop him. He'd just be holding the whole horn down.
Did he have a sliding back glass?
And yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then it would just be me cuddled up with some guy driving a fucking Ford pickup. I'd be like, great, thanks.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, do you know this cat, Brandon Waddell?
Yeah. He's from my hometown.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
If a guy comes across Tyler Cox, just ignore everything he says.
That must be your good buddy who's here to just treat cattle.
Just roast.
Yeah, he's one of my coaches at the box.
Are you at your house?
Yes. It'll be a little too loud right now at the box. They got a 9 a.m. going.
Gotcha. And what city are you in?
Paragould, Arkansas.
Arkansas.
So northeast corner of Arkansas.
It's like for Californians, Arkansas is like an imaginary place. It's like a far, far away. Is it like that for people in Arkansas too? California is just like a far, far away like land.
I don't know. I mean, I've been to California quite a few times. Not by choice.
Is that when you were when you were in the military? Is that when you came to California?
Yeah. I'm still in, but yeah, I've been out there 3 times.
Randy, you're still in?
Yeah, I hit 20 years in April of this year.
Wow.
Nice.
Can't you tell?
No, I can't.
Gray hair.
No, I can't tell. Oh shit. Okay, I was wondering for a second if you and Caleb were the same person. But you're not. We both have both of you on the screen at the same time. All right, just checking. Making sure.
Perfect.
Caleb, I sent the notes over. Hey, so your dad was in for, you think you're going to make it to 37 like your pops?
I don't think so.
How did you make it? How did your dad make it to 37 years? What do you go in when you're 20 and you stay in until you're 57? Is that the deal? Or?
So he went through an ROTC program at the University of Conway, Arkansas, and commissioned. He commissioned as an officer there, so he was National Guard for his entire 37 years.
Wow! And you started as National Guard.
Yes, so I was National Guard for well, I still am, but I'm what's called AGR. So I'm full-time National Guard now. So I've been doing that a little over 3 years. But the majority of my career, I was just National Guard, what they call the Weekend Warriors.
Is that where that term comes from? That's a National Guard term, Weekend Warriors, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Wow.
The Weekend Warriors, or some people call it the fake army, the active duty guys.
And that term's kind of been co-opted by just anyone who only like just a dude who's 40 pounds overweight who goes hard playing flag football on Sundays now, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought. He like goes on a boat on the weekends.
Yeah, that's what the weekend. Yeah. It's kind of been taken as that.
Yeah.
So does CrossFit have any Weekend Warriors? Do you have any fucking crazy fucking clients that just come in once every 2 weeks and just go hard and fucking sore, and then you don't see him for 2 weeks? Like a guy who comes in 2 or 3 times a month?
I mean, I've had before. I mean, just like comes in and will like completely break himself off.
Yeah.
Try to hit like RX, and then like you don't see him for like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's always one.
I think every box has, like, we could sit here and talk about characters in the box, and every box has the same personalities.
That's true.
Oh my God, I finally made it early to alive. Ellen, hi. Hi. What are you holding on to there, Ellen? What are you hiding from us? What are you holding on to?
She's got like a modeling photo for that icon.
Randy Vest. Yeah, you own CrossFit
Cathal.
Say it again.
Cathal.
Is that the name of the town?
It's not. Just the name of the affiliate.
And what's it mean? How'd you come up with that name?
Oh man, that was a struggle with HQ, right? So I affiliated in 2013.
Oh yeah, I remember when your application came in. I reviewed it.
What are you busy?
Okay. So I can blame you, right?
Oh hell yeah.
So you had to submit like three affiliate names, right? Back when I affiliated, it kind of reminded me of when I was going through officer candidate school, and I had to select my top 3 branches. And
that's like when you apply to college now. You have to pick your top 3 genders. I'm feeling. I just want the younger people, to be able to relate to you. Okay, I get it.
Identities.
Yeah. You have to pick your top 3 genders and see which ones are not chosen. You get that one. Okay, go on. So you wanted to pick your top 3. I'm just trying to relate to your story, Randy.
So yeah, I picked my 3, and the first one was just CrossFit NEA, which just was basic, like Northeast Arkansas.
I like it.
And so they kicked back with that, and they're like, that's too broad. You can't do that. Covers too broad of an area. So then my second one was CrossFit Ridge, because our city or our town's on Crowley's Ridge.
Okay.
And they're like, well, there's a CrossFit Ridge Avenue in Pennsylvania. I was like, oh, that's in Pennsylvania. What's it matter? Right.
I like it. It's like a Dukes of Hazzard episode. We live on top of Crowley's Ridge. I jumped Crowley's Ridge in the Camaro in 1987. He's on first guy to do it.
We do that in side-by-sides, not Camaros.
All right, my bad.
Man, I don't even remember what the third one was, but they were all 3 like rejected. So I was like, all right. So then I kind of started looking at some other affiliate names. Like at my L1, I went to my L1 in Texas, and Matt Chan was one of the seminar staff. And so I started kind of looking at those names, and I was like, well, it doesn't have to be relate to a geographical location. So I kind of just started Googling some stuff, trying to relate it to, I guess, life and how we like to battle chronic disease inside the affiliate. So I saw the word Cathal, and some people will say it's pronounced Cathal or Cathal, but you know what? It's my affiliate. I'll pronounce it however I want to.
Yeah.
So it's kind of.
And what's it mean?
It means ruler of the battlefield.
Oh wow! Okay.
So I sent that up, and they're like, that works. I was like, all right, I'm tired of trying to find a name, so we're going with that one.
Oh, you got Dan on here already. Let's see what you said about Dan. Don. Sorry, Don. CrossFit Cathal. For those of you who don't know, I'm looking at the CrossFit Cathal Instagram account now. This is Randy's Instagram account, and he has posted a picture of the handsome new CEO of CrossFit, Don Fall, but not forced handsome, not like Backstreet Boy over the top handsome, just a rugged handsome. Some threw in the towel when the seas got rough. The rest of us weathered the storm. In a society full of crew members, be a captain. Awesome. I love it. Well said.
Yeah,
I wonder if there's a CrossFit him or a CrossFit her.
I don't know. I bet we could find it on Google.
Cathal is a common given name in Ireland, spelled the same in both the Irish and English languages. The name is derived from 2 Celtic elements, battle and rule. Battle ruler. Do you like the name? Are you glad you chose it?
Yeah, I like it. I like it's really simple and flows. off the tongue. So we always say CFC. So it's really easy.
Yeah, like
But it gets mispronounced a lot, but that's okay.
I'll probably mispronounce it a few times. Caleb, on the top of the notes there, it says start show with this. Will you play this? I saw this morning. This is Stefan Roche. Are you familiar with who Stefan Roche is, Randy?
I'm not.
Been around forever. One of the most knowledgeable people in the CrossFit space. I want to say he was the strength coach at the University of San Diego. Big, fancy school. I think he was L1 on the L1 team, then a strength coach, maybe even with the SEALs too. I don't mean to misspeak. And then CrossFit was lucky enough to get him back. But I saw this today and I was like, wow, this is some old school shit he's doing right here. He's kind of like picked up the mantle of this is like a Greg Glassman thing to say. Okay, go ahead, action.
Find a CrossFit affiliate. If you want to do CrossFit, if you want to dramatically transform your health and fitness, find a CrossFit affiliate in your area and walk through that front door. And they will change your life. And you will look back in a few days and say, this was the best decision I ever made.
It's funny. He says, you'll look back in a few days, and it's still understated. Like, he's so strong and he's so adamant about it and everything he's saying is true. But isn't it crazy that it really is that easy, right? Someone can just come into CrossFit Cathal and their fucking whole life can just start getting better. Like from the second they walk in. Like when they walk out that day, their life's going to be better.
Yeah. And I mean, we still do it today. And we're in a small town, 30,000 people. Some people call it like a hamburger town. You ever heard that?
No.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a small town.
When I think of a hamburger, I think of that thing on websites in the upper right-hand corner. You know, those 3 lines.
Yeah.
Or I think of a vagina when a woman's pregnant. It gets all swollen like a yummy hamburger. You know, like a yummy hamburger.
I think of In-N-Out.
Just a big old hamburger.
Yeah, In-N-Out, right?
I'm different. But I do like hamburgers regardless. Okay, but I never heard the term hamburger town. Just a bunch of pregnant women? Just
sure, you can say that.
Okay, so it's a place where people come and stop to eat hamburgers, I'm going to guess.
Yeah, just small town.
Okay.
It's one of those Arkansas terms.
But there are people who come in, and how many people at your affiliate?
We've got roughly about 130 to 135.
Wow.
Nice.
And probably everyone in the town knows about it.
I don't think so. I mean, for the most part, it's hard to miss if you're driving south, heading out of town. But as far as knowing about it, knowing it's there, yes, I would say so. But knowing what we do, not everybody knows.
I bet you someone learns every day. You have any dramatic stories out of there that like, holy cow, this person turned their whole life around?
Yeah, I have a few. One is he's a member. He moved to Mississippi a few years back, but we used to have a foundations class where we scheduled it 3 days a week, and so his wife stopped in and signed him up, and he didn't know about it. So he just he showed up for our first foundations that week, and he said, I think I'm in the right place. My wife signed me up for this CrossFit stuff. And I was like, yeah, you're in the right place. So so he was like almost full-blown type 2 diabetic. I was on meds, and it's been so long I can't remember the amount of the meds he was on, but he started with us. We took him through the foundations. He was in his 50s, and he continued to come, 3 days a week, and then he upped it to where he could handle, 4 to 5. So he went back. I think he went back after it started for like a 6-month checkup, and his doctor asked him. He said, "What have you changed?" And he was like, I started doing this thing called CrossFit. My wife signed me up for it. And he said, keep going. He said, you are, these numbers are the lowest that I've seen since I've had you. So he,
What he
pretty
meant to
much-
say, those are the lowest numbers he's seen in Arkansas.
yeah, no kidding. But yeah, he almost, completely came off his meds, almost 100%, just by walking through our doors.
That's a crazy story that his wife signed him up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, he didn't
would-
know what it was. So
I wonder what happens. And his wife didn't go to the gym?
I saw her like when she walked in to sign him up.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was it. She would come to like our Christmas parties, things like that. But yeah,
When you have clients like that, do you try to recruit them too? When you see her at the Christmas party, you're like, "Come on, Janet, Bill did it. Come on, let's
Oh,
get
yeah.
you in here." Yeah, of
Yeah.
course, right?
Yeah, like look what we did. Look what we did for your husband. Like, get in here.
Hey, I'd love to hear her story, like why she did that. I wonder if like she was just like going through YouTube. She saw some old video that said, "Hey, CrossFit can save your life," and she's like, "Well, shit, my husband needs his life saved," and she signed up. I wonder what the origin story is to that. Do you know?
I don't. She probably told me, but I forgot because it's been so long ago and I have a terrible memory.
It's great. I mean, that takes balls to sign someone up for CrossFit.
Yeah.
Like, what if
Yeah,
she would have signed her husband up for ballet? Here's your tights. Here's your shoes.
Yeah, but that dude, his name was Warren. We called him Warren G. So
Yeah.
that's his nickname in the box, right?
I like it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You have 2 kids, Randy?
Yeah, 2 stepkids.
Teenagers.
Yes, Cannon and Kinley.
How old are they?
14. I may have messed up. They may be 13. My wife's probably listening right now. Shaking her
Are
head.
they twins?
Yeah, they're twins. Don't they look alike?
I can't tell. Everyone looks. Yeah, you guys all look alike. and then they're your stepkids.
Racist.
How is that living with teenagers? Do they go to the gym?
Cannon does. He's been going for a couple of years now. So he loves baseball, and he's pretty salty at it too. And then Kinley's just a naturally gifted track athlete, so she's fast. But she's not faster than me, so I don't care what they say.
Soon, buddy. Soon.
Yeah, she probably actually is, but I won't say that to her.
And you played high school football, baseball, track and field. You did it all.
Yes, except basketball. I stopped playing basketball at 7th grade because that's when I stopped growing, probably.
And tell me how your paths crossed with CrossFit.
Oh man, it was really in Afghanistan, or right before we left or deployed to Afghanistan.
2009.
Yes, so we were there. We actually got in country at the end of 2009 and spent the majority of 2010 over there. So I was somewhat introduced to it before we left. So we were training stateside, and our armory was on campus of Arkansas State University, which was co-located with their ROTC program. And the professor of military science there then was Lieutenant Colonel Jeff Helms, and he loved CrossFit, and he always had his cadets out there in the morning doing physical training, and they would do CrossFit. So I got a little bit of experience then, just I'd see them training, and then actually when I got overseas, we got out on a fob just west of Kandahar City, and there was there's about 200 of us there, and we had a little gym that was like a tent, so it had like some functional training equipment, like some nasty kettlebells, some like beat up wall balls, and like a dip station and pull up bars. And then
Thank you, Caleb. FOB, forward operating base. So when you say FOB and it says forward operating base, that's something that's closer to that's a base close to the danger.
Yes, correct. So we're every individual on there was we were running combat missions daily.
Okay. Wow.
So, but my communications, then he was our communications NCO, non-commissioned officer, and he was doing just some CrossFit stuff over at that little makeshift gym. And I saw him kind of walking back from it one evening when I got off mission, and he was like dirty and sweaty. And I mean, he looked like he'd like been crawling through the desert sand. And I was like, what have you been doing? He's like, I was doing CrossFit over here. And I was like, okay. I was like, I want to try it out with you. And so the next day I went over there and I went with him, and we hit a main site workout. And I think had some kettlebells and like some dips and pull-ups. And then, man, the rest is history. So
addicted right away, did it, and we're like, oh shit, I need this.
Oh yeah. I mean, it wasn't like any other training that I'd ever done. You know, I was your typical, I did your standard power lifts. And then I incorporated some speed work in my training. I'd go out and do sprints, long, slow distance, but nothing like that.
You already knew how to deadlift when you came to CrossFit? You'd done that before?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that most of us who came during with the herd that I came with hadn't done that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I know a lot of us hadn't, right? I mean, we were like strictly, the group that I came from were lat pull down machine, bench press, tricep extensions, cables. I mean, even when I used to go to the Globo gym, I was like one of the only people who did pull-ups, like actual pull-ups. Like the pull-up bar was always empty at Gold's or 24-hour Fitness or wherever I went.
Yeah. So when
I'd never seen a kettlebell or rope or rings. Fuck that. What are those?
Yeah. When I got back, I got me and a friend. Well, I actually met him in like a Globo gym down in the town I was living in at the time. It's like 20 minutes south of us. I was going to this gym, and I saw him doing the main site workout across the gym, and I went up, kind of started talking to him, and so we started doing the main site workout together in here. And they like, I don't want to say they kicked us out, but they're like, hey man, you can't be doing handstand walks down the indoor track.
Yeah.
You can't do handstand push-ups, like, but
it's weird when you're at a gym and you're told you can't do stuff. And to you, it seems totally, we weren't, I used to work out at the University of California, Berkeley gym. Overhead squats were a no-no. Deadlifts were a no-no. Wall balls were a no-no. They had all this shit, like all the Olympic lifts were a no-no.
It's Berkeley. Yeah. Surprised they had a gym at all.
And it was crazy because it was a beautiful gym, but tons of rooms. And I did drop I did drop an overhead squat of 175 from the top one time. I was doing like some max effort on that.
Was it metal plates or what did they have?
I think they were not metal, but you know what I mean? They were rubber, but like the metal.
Like rubber casing.
Yeah, the ones where you used to hold the sides to move the 45s around.
Yeah.
They have the grip and yeah. And actually, now that I think about it, I think I actually maybe had a safety bar down at the bottom, so it didn't hit the ground, but it was still fucking chaos. I mean, it was chaotic when it went. And you're kind of proud. As a CrossFitter, you're kind of proud. You know what I mean? I think I did 10 and I went for 11, and it fell, and I was like, I didn't care. I was kind of like proud I went to failure, which is kind of different, right? Than other gym activities.
Yeah, very different.
And so did you ever, what was your job before you owned the CrossFit gym? What did you do besides being the National Guard?
I was trying to finish school, and they kept pulling me out and deploying me. So it took 7 years to get my undergrad. Lots of people go to school for 7 years, right?
I think I was going to say I did. I can't remember now if I did 7 or 10. It wasn't deployments that stopped me though. It was girls, marijuana,
Frisbees.
and ecstasy, and frisbee, yeah, and natty light.
So I worked through college for. I just had a little job with an industrial supplier. I was a delivery driver, so I was just driving all over industrial park, delivering parts to big factories. And then after that, after I graduated, I finally got back. When I got back from Afghanistan, I had 19 hours left to graduate, and I was like, I got to get done with school because I'm tired of going. So I got my undergrad out of the way, and I started working for the Guard. It's full time, but you're not like permanent. So now it's called, I think it's called full-time National Guard operational support.
Hey, dude, do they ask you to do that because you're capable? Are they like, okay, this guy Randy's like an overachiever, or were you like, okay, I'm gonna apply for this job, or were people like hey, we need to keep this guy close?
No, so it just depends. I mean, it can vary. So we had another unit that was getting spun up to deploy. So they'll hire on additional help. They're called project officers. So they brought me on. It was for about a year. I was working as a project officer for our engineer battalion. And at the same time, two good buddies of mine, they were in the process of standing up CrossFit Natural State down in Jonesboro.
Okay.
So that's who I went to Texas with to get my level 1. And we got in a tornado on the drive down to Texas. It was kind of crazy.
Guys, that don't let Randy fool you. That happens to everyone in Arkansas every third day you go out. He's like trying to make it like it's a big deal. It's only a big deal to us.
We got in one going to Nashville too, or Franklin. We went to a CrossFit mobility cert, and on the way back we got into a tornado.
Fucking nuts.
But no, I was working the project officer, and then I was helping them coach in the morning and in the afternoon. And then the funding for the project officer position, they kind of fund it quarterly. So like 3 months out if you're going to continue on orders or not. So they're coming to the end of the year, and the unit was getting ready to head out. So kind of saw the writing on the wall. And so I started looking at opening up my own affiliate at that time.
What year was that again?
So they opened, CrossFit Natural State opened in 2011. Then I worked 2011, 12. And then after I graduated, kind of in between jobs, this is kind of funny, but I started doing personal training at 10 Fitness, but I had a huge sticker on the back of my truck at the time that said CrossFit Natural State. So I would pull into 10 Fitness to meet my clients, and I would be like, kind of looks weird, CrossFit Natural State truck sitting underneath the 10 Fitness sign. And the people I would train, I mean, what kind of workouts do you think we would do?
Is that where you met your wife?
No, I didn't meet her till I opened my affiliate.
For those of you who aren't familiar with the United States of America, they and them are over here in San Francisco, and he is over here on the red dot. And so this is San Francisco, Las Vegas, Albuquerque, Austin down here, and then all the way over here is Jonesboro. And then as you come up, I guess he's closer to the East Coast than the West Coast, and then you come over here, and it's the eastern side of the United States. So he's right in the middle. It might as well be we might as well be in different countries. It's a totally different lifestyle. A good one, a healthy one. Is your town a good place to raise kids?
It is. It's big enough.
Good people.
Yeah. It's big enough to, I guess you could call it a city over here in the Midwest. You guys probably wouldn't, but.
How close is the closest Apple store to you?
Memphis.
How far is that?
Oh shit! Like a state
An
over.
hour.
Damn.
No, it's just an hour south. I mean, it's not that far.
But Memphis, Tennessee, different state though.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
There might be one in Little Rock, Central Arkansas. I don't know.
When you were, how was your deployment? If you were on a FOB, did you see some hairy shit? Was it scary? Did life altering shit happen to you?
Yeah. I mean, we got into some pretty sticky situations. So we were a route clearance and reconnaissance platoon or company. So our mission day to day is we went out and drove about 3 to 5 miles an hour down the road in humongous vehicles and looked for roadside bombs.
Did you ever find any?
Yeah, we found a lot. Sometimes they found us, but
Mm.
You ever find anyone who's planting one as you're? Wow. You ever find one you ever see someone laying one down as you roll up, like kids spray painting on a wall, but it's some dudes putting down a bomb?
Yeah, we saw plenty of that.
Damn. What do you do? Do you
probably
engage those people, or do you wait till they put it down and then pick it up behind them?
No, so our rules of engagement were different. So we had to have what's called PID, or positive identification, before we could engage. And a lot of times they had to engage us first. But the ROE changed, I think, once or twice while we were over there. And it was, I think the coolest one was I got to watch live a drone strike on two guys that were putting one in about 100 meters outside of the front gate of our FOB. So don't give me a line because I don't know like levels that these drones fly out, but I think it was 11,000 feet is where it, fired in and knocked out these two guys that were putting in a roadside bomb.
So I just picture like it's a schoolyard. You're against the chain link fence inside the FOB, and and you're looking up and there's a drone and you're looking at the dudes. Is it like that? And you and your buddies are like got to chew in and you're like, those guys are fucked.
I mean, kind of, but we were watching on a TV in our tactical operations center inside our tent. So they had to pulled up on a big 50-inch screen, like basically the camera from the drone.
I know this is your podcast. Sorry, hold on 1 second. Have you got to do that yet, Caleb? Have you seen the 50-inch screen and the
look over the fence?
We're doing a lot of looking over the fence. We don't get to see the screens out here.
All right. Okay, sorry. So you're watching the screen.
Yeah, and then you can tell when like the drone fired because the screen shook and it did the little snow fuzzy.
Yeah.
And then they came back online and it was like a 3 seconds to impact. And it smoked them. I mean, you could tell right before it hit, they heard it coming because it was like a reflex. And then it was just, there was nothing left of them. I mean,
what happens? Two guys pull up in a fucking old Toyota pickup truck and fucking lower the tailgate, and they carry out something that's the size of a basketball, and you see them starting to bury it in the ground and leave a little piece up, and then someone sees that and they're like sending a drone strike, and then they're like, "Hey guys, come over and watch this."
We didn't see. That could be the case, but these guys just were carrying. They were like 40-gallon jugs, like yellow jugs. They look like fuel jugs.
Yeah.
And they were packed with what we called what was it called? HME, homemade explosives. So fertilizer. And they would pack these jugs with this HME, and then they would bury it because the routes that we drove out there it was like driving in the desert, real sandy. So they would bury it, and most of them were what was called pressure plate IEDs. So if our vehicles drove over it and it basically connected the wires, it would detonate on us. Some of them were cell phone detonated. Some of them were command wires. So they would run like a wire back to like a firing point a few hundred meters away. And then as our vehicles passed over, they would touch the wires to the battery or touch them to whatever, and they would detonate the bomb. But
The balls of these guys to come within 100 meters.
yeah, they got really close. That was, I mean, we got into some hairy stuff, like, 200 meters outside our front gate. It was pretty wild.
And I'm sorry for my ignorance. And these are Taliban?
Yes. So we were there 2010. So I think the Marines were down and we operated in the Helmand province a little too. And so the Marines were down Helmand province area, and they were trying to push all the enemy up towards central and into Kandahar city. And then the army was up on Pakistan border. So they're basically trying to squeeze into Kandahar city, which is, I believe, where the Taliban originated at. And then it would just be basically a fight, just trying to squeeze them in and then burst the bubble. So we were operating really close to Kandahar city. And what was weird is when we got out to our fob, it was pretty dead for a while. And then we were co-located with the unit from the 4th Infantry Division, and they were like, "Oh, it'll pick up on this day." Like, they had the day like pinpointed down. We're like, "Okay, like that's pretty random." And they're like, "No, it'll pick up. It's called fighting season." It's like, okay. So we drove on, and then like no crap, like that day that they said it kicked off. It was like
Fighting is that weather related?
No, I think it's religious related.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
When I see things like that happened, like the protesters at January 6th, like all those people march and they just kind of just start marching into the Capitol, I trip on that. I'm like they would have never let that happen at my high school. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't understand why something like that can't be stopped. Like, it looks so easy to stop that. Like, just bring in a bunch of trucks with water cannons and spray those fucking people down. And the same thing when I watched what happened, in Afghanistan. Like, how do all those people, like, when you see that and you see that giant military jet and there's dudes like on the tarmac with it, are you tripping? Like, how does that? It looks so unprofessional. Like, I wouldn't let anyone get that close to my kids. Like, you know what I mean? How does that happen? Like, when you watch that, are you thinking that too? How the fuck did that happen?
Yeah, it's wild. Because we had guys that were, they weren't there when it happened, but we had guys that flew in and out of there. So it was pretty much secure. We had that place secured when we were there. And
you know where that was? Do you recognize that airfield where all those people were?
Yeah, which I do. We were actually in Kandahar airfield. But similar situation. It was secured as well. That was where we pushed out of, or flew into, and then we pushed out to our FOB from Kandahar airfield. And I was like, just trying to relate it to that. And I was like, man, that place was secure. I couldn't. It's hard to imagine what that feeling, like what the tensions were like for those guys that were over there trying to secure, the Marines and Army. It's something I couldn't wrap my head around.
And how desperate, when you were there, did you sense any of that desperation from the civilians there? Basically the story goes like this, right? Those people were so fucking scared that this is just the layman's understanding. Those people who were there, those Afghanistan citizens, were so fucking scared that the U.S. was leaving that they were trying anything they could to leave with the U.S. because they thought they would be killed as soon as the U.S. left. It's like, I just imagine it as like mom's leaving and fucking dad's gonna rape me or beat me. That's what those people were desperate. Is that the scene there?
They were. I didn't feel like that. We had a pretty strong presence when I was there. So, our interactions with the
locals,
the local population, it was we had pretty friendly interactions with them.
I mean, they obviously felt safe around the Americans. No one's running out. I mean, none of those people were violent towards the Americans. They were trying to leave with them.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't feel like that when I was there. I'm sure it existed, but it just didn't. I didn't experience that. So,
when you see that, do you have opinions on it? Do you have thoughts on it? Like, you know, there was the story coming out of the news is that it was done the departure was done inappropriately, jeopardized a lot of people's lives, and that a lot of equipment was left behind that shouldn't have been.
I think.
Do you agree with that narrative, or?
I do agree. I mean, I don't know. My opinion usually. I was just talking to. She's probably listening right now. I was just talking to one of my master sergeants yesterday, and I said, I don't know. I'm just a field grade officer. My opinions usually don't matter. So, I think it could have been planned a lot better. I really do. I mean, there were lives lost in it. You know, we still are at my box. I have the names of each of those soldiers, Marines, and airmen written on the whiteboard. You know, that was over a year ago in August. You know, it sucks to see that amount of lives lost on something that, you know, and I don't know the details. Obviously, I don't know, you know, what the full details are, but
whatever was happening there was pretty bad. If people were handing babies to American soldiers,
yeah,
no one, like, that's a really, really fucked up situation. Like, I don't think it gets worse than that. The only thing I think of is just Auschwitz, right? You would hear stories like that of like Jews being taken away on the trains and they give their baby to a German family who they said would protect it. I mean, that's what, I mean, I can't think of any other. As soon as I saw, I mean, throwing your baby to protection, I mean, that's a fucking crazy decision to make. That'll be the hardest decision you make your entire life.
Yeah, as if you're, you know, throwing your own kid to
safety.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, that means there's certain death.
Yeah, exactly. That means you think that there's certain death. Yeah,
for
sure.
If you stay there and that baby's still there, you're all gonna die.
Yeah.
How long do you think you'll stay in? You look good. You look like you could make it another 17 years and be like, I beat you, Dad. I beat you.
I don't know about that. So when you get hired on full time in the AGR program, you have to accumulate 20 active federal service years. So I had some that I'd accumulated prior to with deployments, things like that, and I've been in a little over 3 years in the AGR program. So I've got about I can't be exact. I should track it a lot closer, but it's probably 8 to 9 left. So when I'm close to 50.
And the finish line is when you get some sort of retirement, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Is your dad still alive?
He is. Yeah.
What's he think about the whole CrossFit thing?
He doubted me when I first told him I was going to do it.
Yeah. Sounds like a smart dad.
Yeah. He just played devil's advocate. That's all he was doing. But he'll tell you that, you know, he's like, I didn't think it'd make it. And I was like, yeah, I know you did. And that's why I proved you wrong. Along with everybody else. But yeah, he's happy. You know, it works. He's healthy. He's 72. He's got about 200 acres. Piddles with cows and hay, and just works out on his land. He's been retired for like 12 years.
How close is he to you?
About an hour drive.
And when you say he piddles with cows, milking or for meat or companionship?
Yeah. Companionship.
He's got pet cows?
No, it's for meat. He'll raise them and then he'll just take them to the sale barn and sell them.
And how about you? Do you got a freezer at home just full of meat that you get from your dad?
Yeah, so he'll slaughter one, and he'll ask me if I want it, and I always say yes. So we usually do a lot of ground beef, and then he'll have some like steaks cut out of it. So yeah, I've got a deep freeze out in the garage.
Damn, what a good life, Randy.
Yeah, farm to table,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Is it a trip to you? You know, where I live, they have never experienced that. They just go to the local store and get Beyond Meat.
They want to make it illegal.
Is that the one that's made out of plants or whatever?
It's not good for you, I tell you that.
It's made out of Bill Gates technology.
Yeah, seed oils and all sorts of shit. They're going out of business, though, it looks like. We were looking at that yesterday.
Have you had the Incredible Whopper yet? Either one of you?
No, is that
Have
like
not.
some Burger King's like vegan burger or something?
Yeah,
No.
I haven't had it.
The Incredible Whopper.
That sounds terrible.
Okay, so you tell me about the opening process, the mindset when you're single, basically. You're not
Mhm.
married when you open the gym, and you're just this dude, and you're like, fuck it, I love this stuff so much, I'm gonna open the gym. And I kind of want to know like how that process went, and what were you thinking, oh, I like it so much I can train all day, or I want to help people, or what was the kind of the motivate, or I'm going to get rich doing this, or what was the motivating factor? Or
Get rich. That's funny.
yeah.
Right. No, I got into it when I was helping my friends with CrossFit Natural State coaching. So they eventually kind of put me into the coaching their foundations, and I really enjoyed helping people and seeing the success that people have with CrossFit. So then when I looked into opening mine, I started looking for locations in Paragould and started going through the affiliate process of trying to name it. And
Why did you want your own? Why did you want your own?
Why did I want my own? Because
Yeah.
I wanted to be in control of how the affiliate was ran. I thought things could be done differently and better than where I was at. And I'm not, and that's not anything, negative towards,
No.
being an affiliate owner. I had my own leadership style and my own vision of a community. And I saw the opportunity existed, 30 minutes up the road. So that's.
And you liked it. You liked going. You not only did you think you could do some things differently that you wanted to try out, but what did you like about going to the gym every morning?
I liked seeing the people. Throughout the day, it was getting the interaction with people, just the relationships that you can build with your members, and creating that tight knit community. So that's what I tell my coaches today. Even today, is I tell them, the most important thing is for you to create a relationship with the member. We've got the rest of their life to get them fit. I was like, if they don't feel good walking in your doors, then they're not going to come back. So
you're asking for an hour of their time. I was thinking about this the other day with the podcast too. I mean, I learned this obviously from Greg and CrossFit. Them coming to you, your goal should to be their best hour of their day. Like they're giving you an hour of their life, right? Yeah, and I feel like that about the podcast. Like, holy fuck, something better be said or done on here to where people feel like they're getting value. Mm-hmm. Not because I want to keep them, but because I don't want to be a scumbag. I want to take this serious. I respect people's time. Like you said, relationships. Yeah, that's a great reason to have a gym. Because you like the relationships.
Yeah, I mean it's the community aspect. Really, that ties into everything about what CrossFit strives for with creating community. And that's the most important, and still is that you help people feel part of a community, a supporting community. It's not just like I'm going to support you and get you fit and get you a 400-pound back squat or whatever. But, outside of our walls too, we support our members and, we try to be there for them and do things for them, do fundraisers. You see these stories all over the CrossFit world. So that's one of the best parts of it.
And when you opened your own gym, did the gym you were at get upset at you? Were they disappointed, angry, supportive? How does that work?
No, they were supportive. So they were kind of in the process of they owned they had a co-ownership. So they were kind of
so you knew exactly what not to do. You're like, okay, don't open with someone.
No co-op.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was number one lesson learned. But no, they were very supportive. So they were kind of at a crossroads of, one of them buying out the other and just taking on sole ownership, and the other one, both of these guys, they had families of 4. So, you can imagine the affiliate model starting out. That's tough to support. 8 people. In this part of the country, it's still, CrossFit still has like and I don't know, maybe it does there too, but it still has kind of that stigma, of the dangerous and I don't know what else, the fake pull-ups and the CrossFit Games. Like, I was like, that's not what we are, right? It's like and I tell everybody that comes into the gym and they ask about it, the first question I ask them is, how did you hear about us? And some of them will say, oh, I saw the CrossFit Games online, or I saw it on TV. And I'll stop them and say, hold on. I was like, all right, the CrossFit Games, I was like, that's the NFL or the Major League Baseball. I was like, we're the Sandlot. I was like, this is Sandlot. I was like, yes, we do that. I was like, but that is the professional, the top 0.5% of our, community and what they do.
Oh, look at all the kids. God, I love that picture. And a dog.
Kids, dogs, yeah.
How many people would you say come in that said they saw it on the CrossFit Games and are interested in starting? Like, is that a big percentage of the people that come in, or is that a smaller one?
No, it's pretty small.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a handful that I can remember having that conversation with. Because it's like, you got to slow those people down, like, especially if they're dudes, right? And you can tell they've maybe done some lifting in their back, in their past. They're like, hey, slow down. This is going to be different for you. It's going to chew you up and spit you out if you don't come in with open mind and scale this back. So
I don't know what people think about CrossFitters. I always assume that everyone I know who knows that I do CrossFit knows that I'm fitter than them. I just assume that they know that. I assume if I walk in somewhere and I wear my CrossFit shirt, everyone knows that I could beat them in a foot race. But it's weird. The other day I went to play tennis. I don't play tennis. I just fuck around. My kids play it, and in the kids tennis program, all the parents are hardcore tennis players and all the kids are, but not me. And my kid was playing. My kid and I met up with this mom and her kid, and they played tennis for like 2.5 hours. And then the mom said, hey, you want to play doubles against our kids? And I said, sure. And like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, right? I just hit the ball. I just have a racket. And we were out there playing, and I was definitely the weak link between me and this lady for sure. But she goes, holy shit, you're fast. And then the other day when I was playing Frisbee on the beach for 2 hours with one of my sons, and this man comes up to me and goes, how old are you? And I go, 50. He goes, I can't fucking believe I watched you out here playing Frisbee for 2 hours with your kids. It's like, yeah, I CrossFit. Like what? I just have to assume everyone knows, like, we're not fucking around. We're different.
Yeah, God, I've been doing it.
We're capable. We're capable.
14 years. And, people still give me a hard time for it. They joke about it, but I laugh it off now. So
it allows us just to do so much more. We contribute. I mean, I hope most CrossFitters are like this, but we're the guy who's like lady shopping cart gets stuck in a crack and it's full of shit and weighs 150 pounds, and we can come over there and just lift the back out for them. Just, I mean, it's like nothing for us, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just, yeah. I don't know if how people think of it. I do believe that all the haters. I do believe, and I know that all the haters are. It's just ignorance. It's intimidation and ignorance. I don't see any of that among my cohort. I don't see a. I see 99.999 to infinity benefits of the methodology.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. The ignorance is like. Was it Glassman that said it? Said, you don't know what you don't know. And it's just, they're not educated on it. And that's the thing that we do in our foundations. So we do a foundations now. It's like, I want one-on-one time with these new people coming in. And I want it to be, yes, we're going to assess your movement. We're going to assess your limitations, your fitness level. But I want you to educate. I want you to be educated on what CrossFit is, right? So everything from what our crazy acronyms are to how we scale it to meet the stimulus. And my coach, I call her my head coach, Natalie. She takes on all of our foundations, and she does a outstanding job breaking it down. They meet with her 3 times over the course of 2 weeks, and she breaks it down within the hour to teach them about the movement standards, not only the movement standards and maybe new movements that they've never seen in any other exercise program, but also to educate them on CrossFit and what the benefits are. Just not being a gym warrior and being able to apply this to your everyday life outside the gym wall.
You have a post on your Instagram. It's called The Ideal Gym Member. I really liked it. Maybe it's the very last one, Caleb. Very last one. I should have numbered these. Sorry. Maybe he'll pop. Oh, here we go. I used to think that anybody who wanted to get fit was someone I wanted in my gym. Now I want people who don't complain, who are coachable, and who want to be part of a community. We've turned people away because they weren't a good fit for us. When does that evolution come? Are you already an affiliate owner and you're like, God, I hope I can get a lot of fit people in here. And then after a couple of years, you're like, actually, that's not what I really want, is people who are coachable, who don't complain, who want to be a part of the community. When does that shift happen?
I really don't. I don't know when the shift happens, but I think it comes with time. I wouldn't say it comes with number, a number of members, because as an affiliate owner, you're looking at numbers. I mean, you're looking at bottom line. You gotta pay the rent. You gotta keep the lights on. But at some point, it converts back to quality, quality of your life and your hour or multiple hours that you're spending coaching, right? So you don't want to be in there. And I can probably say that 99% of affiliate owners or even coaches that are listening, they've had those members that are just not coachable. That don't want to listen and do their own thing, and they become toxic to the community. The other members see it, and that's just not somebody you want inside your gym. Somebody who doesn't want to get better, doesn't want to be coachable. And I'm like, if you're not coachable, if you know it all, then go open your own affiliate.
Have you said that to someone?
I've kicked one individual out my entire time as an affiliate owner.
What
It
does
was-
that look like? You
Yeah,
did.
yeah. That's what I want to get to.
What
I like
the
these are the
hell,
ones I
Greg?
like. This is
Oh, you want the juicy stuff? I see.
absolutely. Hey, I've been through it 9 years myself, man. I know.
I
some
love
stories,
Greg's
too.
stories too, where he's like he either kicks someone out or he just works to kick them out. He just
Coach
like
them up
just,
or coach them out.
yeah, that's like yeah. Greg says you just go over and just fucking make it so they don't want to come back.
I mean, mine had to do with some inappropriate stuff being said to one of my coaches. And I told that coach, I said,
Was that a boy being attracted to a girl?
yes.
Oh yeah, that
Hey,
happens. Boys
HR
are like
had
that.
to step in. HR.
Yeah. So you put on your HR
Yeah.
hat.
Yes, man. I tell you what. And I said, you need to confront him or I will. And she had no issues confronting. She still coaches for me today. So
Yeah.
she was like,
Awesome.
oh no, absolutely. I will say something. So, she confronted him. And
Will you
he-
tell us what he said? Is it okay to tell us?
He's like, I would like
It
to check
was-
out your snatch.
No, it was like
Oh, it's a good guess. I like that, Susan. That's a good guess.
I can't be exact, but it was.
Is it like no girl's gonna tell me what to do, or was it like, damn, you got nice tits?
No, it was like
What side of the fence was
it's
it on?
okay if you don't. It was it was on that side. If you don't like me, it's okay. I got plenty of other women in here that like me. I'm
Oh
like,
wow,
"What?"
wow.
Come on, dude. So she was married, and she was like,
Oh wow.
so I confronted him about it, and I was like, and he lied to me. He was like, he kept lying. I was like, I'm gonna give you one more chance. I was like, if you tell me the truth, I can work with you. He didn't, so I was like, man, you got to go. I said, it's not. This isn't the place for you.
Relationships,
I
that
don't
shit's
want
gonna happen, right? Relationships.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was years ago. It was like, God, that was two locations ago. So, like 2000, I'd say 15.
How many locations have you been at?
First location was 900 square feet. We knocked a wall out within a year. And then we moved to a standalone location. It was 3,000 square feet. Next move was an old warehouse, like truck repair shop. And then from there, I took the plunge and bought some land, and we built our own.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's the one you're in now, right? With the photos of it and
Yeah.
stuff. We see. Yeah, that place looks awesome.
Wow.
Good on you.
I would be. That sounds like the worst thing to ever do. Move a gym. That sounds like.
Well, compared to most businesses, it's easy. I mean,
you
you're
just
poor,
you just-
and
God, it
usually
sounds
you have
like
a
a lot of work.
community of people that are fit that usually would, if you bring them some food and stuff at the end, usually come and help out, grab a ball, slide a mat over, throw it in the truck, and drive it down the street.
Yeah,
God, that's a dope place, man. Congratulations. Look at
That's a
that
really
roof.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
really
That's kind of if you go back to talking about why I opened, but as we started building the community, there was just not a lot of
Oh, that's nice.
great
Look at those
locations.
windows. Yeah.
And I was just like, I want to build something for my community. Like I didn't build it for me. I mean, yes, I pay the note and the
Mhm.
property taxes, which property taxes are, whatever, rip off. So,
come to California, brother.
I know,
come
right?
on.
You really want to get it. Are there? What size square footage is this one now? Sorry if you already said it, but
So it's 6,000 square feet,
Wow.
nice.
60 wide and 100 long, and then we've got I've got a build out upstairs where I put my office and just a big open kind of a balcony, or so we got about 1,200 feet upstairs.
Oh,
You're-
that's awesome.
You're approaching 10 years.
Yeah.
Oh, is
So-
that guy your client right there? November 21st to 22nd, that yoke dude?
No, that was a repost. I think that was
That's the dude Hiller.
Bergeron?
Okay, that's the dude Hiller Hiller accused
We
this
met
dude of
him.
being juiced up, and then they had a confrontation. It was it was good but intense at the CrossFit Games. That guy's body is ridiculous.
Yeah. Goals, right?
He is a specimen. I mean, Hiller's a big dude, and this dude was standing next to Hiller, and he's dwarfing Hiller. This is a solid man.
Yeah.
So you're approaching 10 years.
Yeah, a decade.
Why are you still affiliated after all this time? Is any part of you like, hey, I've paid enough of my affiliation fee? Wow, that place is nice, dude. You fucking murdered it. Congratulations.
That was what I was looking at last night, and I was a little
You
jealous.
So you bought the land and there was no building there, and that was built on there? You had that built?
So this is kind of wild. So the very first place I looked at putting the affiliate to rent was on this spot. There was like an old, like 2,000 square foot garage building. And it was there for the whole time I was in Paragould. And then I remember driving to my box one day, and I took the road. Always took the back way to it because it was faster. And I drove by this building, and there was like smoke pouring out of the bay door. And I was like, what the crap? Nobody was there, and it had caught on fire. So that building burnt down. And then that was, they ended up tearing it down finally. And then the lot went up for sale. So I bought the lot, and then we built on it. So
how much does it cost to build that?
That here, with the land and the building and build out everything turnkey, it was just under 400,000.
God, I would want to live in there.
Yeah,
you could.
400.
Yeah, I would love just a giant floor plan like that for my house, so I could always see what the fuck my kids are doing.
This little sleeping walk upstairs, a little crow's nest you sleep in.
Yeah, with a fucking BB gun.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, so
awesome.
it was.
God, do you still get excited? How long have you had that?
Just over. So it'll be 4 years this coming February that we've been in there. February 14th and 15th is when we moved into it. So 4 years this coming February.
I have this minivan. It's the only my mom bought me a car when I graduated from high school, and I remember even that car. I remember every morning I would wake up for years, and I couldn't fucking believe it was my car. I couldn't believe I had a pickup truck. Is it like that when you come here? Like every morning that you go there, and you're like, are you just kind of just like, yeah?
Yeah, I mean,
like that shit looks like it never gets old. That shit.
No,
I mean, look at just those med balls in the corner. I want to go hug them.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife, she I have to watch it because I'll go up there and piddle like
yes.
Good time, and my wife was like, "Are you still at the box?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I don't know, just trying to look and see what I can do to make it better for the members."
Yep.
Dude, my favorite part about this whole picture is the two little girls who are just at home there. They're probably someone's in the picture's daughters, right? They are so excited to go to the box with their moms because their moms are working out, but then they get to see their best friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just fucking love that. I mean, that says it all right there.
Yeah, I think that's
why so many people there right then? Is that an event? That's not are your classes that big? That's nuts.
No, classes aren't that big. That may be what's the date on that? Memorial Day? So that's
okay.
Murph. That's Murph, the day we did Murph.
So someone probably brought like free coffee or something, and everyone showed up.
Yeah, pizza.
Awesome.
No,
this picture was like, like when you're talking to one of your buddies about something, and then a pretty girl walks by, and everything gets quiet in high school, and everyone's like, "That." This picture did that to me. I was going to ask you about why you affiliate, and then I saw this picture, and I was just, wow, overwhelmed. Why affiliate? Why keep affiliating? Why not just go your way? Thank you. I took the L1. Did you take the L2 also?
Yes.
Wow. Did you like the L2? I'm still not going to let you answer the first question. Did you like the L2?
Yeah, I did. I liked the L2 a lot. It was probably one of the best certs that I've gotten. I'd probably say L1, L2. I would rank L2 above L1.
Yeah, it's just more. It's in terms of coaching, right? Is what you're talking about. In terms of practical application, where you could go there that week and you come back, and you're infinitely better inside the classroom. Like you're infinitely.
Yeah, you are. You have like this drive, and the coaches do too. They're like, "Oh, I want to teach them so much." I'm like, "That's awesome." And then the L1 is just like, I mean, this is cliche, but you know, my mind was blown in the L1. I was like, wow. I was like, the amount of knowledge and just simplicity of how they can teach it, so that you can, you know, we call it in the military, it's called train the trainer. You know, so you have these subject matter experts, and they train, you know, individuals, and those individuals go back out into their units, and they, you know, they teach and train subordinates. But yeah, it was, you know, it was mind blowing on the L1, just the amount of knowledge you get.
The L1 was mind blowing, and yet Randy says the L2 was even better. What would happen to the U.S. military if they had every single guy in there take the L1, take the 2-day course? Would you see a massive transformation in our fighting force?
Yes.
Massive, right?
Yeah.
How many people are in the military? Can you look that up? Active U.S. military, Caleb? I think it's 1 million. Is it between all the branches from the?
So
let's include those guys on the boats too, the Coast Guard ones.
We go 1.6.
Okay, so let's say it is 1.6 million. So that means it's a okay 1.3. So add 2 zeros to that. That's 10 million. That's $103 million. Do I have that right? No, sorry, 103 million. That's $1 billion to give that's $1 billion, right? 103 million would be if they got it. You just add 3 zeros to that, right? If it's $1,000 to take the L1, I'm sure CrossFit would give them a deal if they bought 1 million L1s.
Yeah, get a little price break.
Yeah,
and all they have to do is send a little bit less to Ukraine, and we're good to go.
Yeah, let's negotiate that down a little bit. Let's keep it at a flat billion. So for $1 billion, and Caleb, how much did we send to the Ukraine? And I'm okay. I'm not saying that we shouldn't send money to Ukraine, or we should. I don't mean to say that any of that shit at all in this. I'm just, and I understand that when people are like, hey, why doesn't Elon save the world instead of save all the starving people instead of buying Twitter? Money doesn't work like that. But man, it seems like you would have a massive positive repercussion. 2.98 billion. It seems like you would have a massive repercussion if you just put 100,000 U.S. soldiers through the L1. I mean, it would change all their lives forever. You keep that your whole life, right? Your L1
expires every 5 years.
But you know what I mean, like
the knowledge, the information.
Yeah, like we all took our L1 and we're never going to be the same. You go there for 2 days and you're never, ever, ever going to be the same. There's lots of things. A week will pass and nothing happens to me that changes my life. You spend 2 days there and the whole trajectory of your shit has changed.
And other people.
There's whole aisles in the grocery store you'll never visit again. Never. You'll never go down the cereal aisle again unless there's some hot chick down there.
Right now they have a deal with the Army that they can get it for free.
Mm-hmm.
How is that? Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so sorry. I just can't believe it. How the impact it would have.
I'm pretty sure we get more worked up about the L1 and the L2 and selling it than CrossFit does at this point.
Well, that was pretty cool. That Sevan Roche video is pretty fucking cool. I mean, you can't understate. I mean, it's still understated, but man, it's good to see that coming out of HQ. They need to beat their chest a little bit. They need to get on top of the Empire State Building and fucking pound that.
A lot of it. Yeah, I completely agree. We need more videos like that, but at mass scale all the time. Okay, rant over.
That is the cornerstone of that's the survival piece in the military, right?
What's that?
Your ability to perform physically and mentally.
Yeah, you can relate the attrition or even the pool of recruiting. I forgot how many years ago. I'll say it's like 2012. I'd have to look up the video, but I think a retired general gave a speech discussing the impact that physical activity or lack of physical activity has had on the recruiting pool, and even inside the Army with injury rates or outside the recruiting pool is they can't recruit because these young kids are not physically active. So they can't pass a simple physical fitness test to get in. And it's, I mean, you talk about, he did it. I'd have to find the video, but he did a study in the cost of the Army fixing these individuals just due to in basic entry training was, it was significant. And it was a lot of it was like stress fractures.
Because they're not conditioned to it. I worked with the U.S. Air Force recruit guys, and we would help them kind of do a development day where they would come in and take the pass test, and these individuals are getting ready to go to special operations. And I was discussing it with a few of the recruiters, and they were saying that they actually have the data on that everybody has just gotten weaker. And I don't mean that in a sense of just to use that word, like literally and physically, they've gotten weaker to the point that they don't play sports. They're not conditioned for it. The ones that even want it, maybe have it up here, end up broken with stress factors and stuff because their bodies just aren't conditioned for that type of physical activity because they weren't exposed to it at younger ages. And it's making the cost of bringing those individuals in exponentially higher because they have to cast a wider net. So more goes into marketing, and then it takes more to get them through the process. And then therefore more dollars are spent just to get them through down the pipeline.
Yeah. I see it. I see it at my level because, right now I'm an executive officer of a battalion, and we work hand in hand with recruiting and retention. And we have an individual in our building that he's over the new recruits coming in. So they spend some time in R&R before they shift to basic, but they get the basic and every month we look at the losses that we have for these individuals and, why we're losing them. And it's, our chief of staff has said that it all relates back. Everything that we see a loss of can relate back to the physical well-being of an individual. Because if they can't pass a physical test, if they're being processed out for injuries, then that's a waste of money, and that's a loss of a number for us.
Yeah.
Here's the crazy thing too. You could take anybody if you made the first year of coming into the U.S. military CrossFit. You could take anyone. You bring them in, force them to eat this shit, start them off walking, start them off leaning against the wall. And even if they're 200 pounds overweight, in a year, you would have a fucking warrior. You could do it. It would be so fucking easy. It would be not for the person, but that if they signed up for 4 years and you turned the first years into CrossFit, here's your steak, here's your broccoli. Let's go. We're going for a walk today.
Yeah, I think you'd have to rewind the clock to the schools.
They should just make the fucking U.S. military giant weight loss program.
At this point,
the first year you lose weight, the second year you kill somebody.
So have you
Holy
seen?
Shit, I'm not joking. It would be better than what it is.
Have you seen the new physical fitness test that they have? It's been being developed and redeveloped, and we're
No, I've heard about like these 15-minute miles and weird shit like that though.
It's the Army combat fitness test, right? So our old one was just you did 2 minutes. You had 2 minutes to do as many push-ups as possible, and then you had 2 minutes to do as many sit-ups, and then you had to run 2 miles. So it all is around your age, like how old you are. It's like where your score falls, right?
Okay.
So the older you are, the longer you have to run 2 miles, or the older you are, the less push-ups and sit-ups you have to meet the standard.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a standard, or that was a test for years. I think it changed in like the 70s to that. And so they just revamped it, and they've been working on this new test for years now to implement it. And it's called the Army Combat Fitness Test. So if you look at it, it's got deadlift. Yeah, you got it pulled up. So functional movement. So a standing power throw. So what does that look like? It's a kettlebell swing. or, you can train it through power cleans. Hand release push up, which I like the hand release push up, because if you ever witnessed a Army fitness test and you see some of these guys' range of motion on the push up,
or lack thereof. Yeah.
yeah, dude, it's comical, right? And then, so the sprint drag carry, it's funny. So if you've never seen somebody tap into that metabolic pathway on the sprint drag carry, it completely destroys them. And I mean, they take off running and it looks like a newborn giraffe.
That's a great fucking picture, by the way. A great image. A newborn giraffe. Like knees knocking and shit.
Oh yeah, and they just biff it. Like, I mean, I've seen it. It's pretty funny. And then, so the plank, they replaced the plank was knees to elbow. And I mean, I don't care. I'm indifferent. I can do either, but they had so many issues with knees to elbow. In my opinion, it was because so many people could not do a knees to elbow. So they lowered their standard to a plank. So more people could make the standard.
That's what I wonder. Why the hell, like, why would you put a plank in there? Like, why not even a farmer carry or something? Because you could do that with midline stability and everything else with a farmer carry.
Yeah, so the sprint drag carry has a farmer carry in it.
It does?
Two
sprint drag
40, two 40-pound kettlebells. It's got reverse sled drag.
What are some of the numbers? Can we get to the juicy part? What are the numbers? What's your can we see these numbers, Caleb? What are some of the things you have to do? Fitness, how to train 60-pound hex bar, standing. It doesn't show what the requirements are.
You could look them up. They have a minimal and a maximum that you can reach. So each event's scored 100 points. So you can score, up to 100 points.
The CrossFit Games.
Yeah, there you go.
Randy, why are you why still stay affiliated after 10 years? Why still pay the dues? Nope, we're not going to get to that either again.
We're gonna have to circle back to that.
That'll give me some more time to think about it.
So max deadlift 340 is 100 points for a man, 210 for a woman at the highest level.
Okay.
Oh, for 3 repetitions. Okay. Let me see what mine is.
Yeah.
Look at the man's weight really doesn't ever go down. I guess neither does the women's. The deadlift stays pretty steady.
Mm-hmm.
I think I could get 90 points. Okay, that's good.
Oh, you should do this for one of the
videos
here. That would be cool.
Okay, what's the next one? What's the next one? Oh, wait, what was that yellow line at the bottom? What was that yellow line at the bottom? That's where you're just like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that's the minimum. That's the minimal you have to lift to pass.
Oh shit.
So D is for degree 60.
Oh, 140.
Wow.
So Avi's ready.
Yeah. Wow. Holy shit. That's what's crazy. My deadlift might be weak as shit. Like I probably don't want to deadlift ever over. I don't know. I don't never deadlift over 245, but I could probably do 2 sets of 50 with 140. It would hurt, but wow. That's crazy. That's wow. Standing power throw.
So it's a 10-pound, like a 10-pound med ball, like a little. It's not a med ball. It's like a rubber, like slam ball.
Wow. That's pretty far to throw at 36 feet for the dudes.
It's pretty easy, actually.
It is. Did you get the roll? Do you get to use the roll? No.
No, it's where it lands.
Okay. How do you do? Is it small like this, like a little D ball? You shot put it or?
No. So you can imagine a American kettlebell swing.
Okay. Okay.
You have your back to the lane and you load, and then you just you have to release, at a 45, and if you want max distance, but
throw it over your head or release it at 45 in front of you.
Yeah, throw over your head.
Okay, over your head. Okay. Let me see what the minimum is here. So someone has to throw it. The minimum, like if you're like a woman, has to throw it like 10 feet down there at the end. Wow.
They just have to get it over their head. Wow.
Hey, so the funny story on this, when I went to the the ACFT instructor course out in where was that at? Fort Jackson. They talked about injuries. The most common injuries were on the standing power throw.
I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
So how would you think that they injured? What do you think they injured? Like hip
Lower
flexor,
back.
shoulder?
Low back. That's what I would
No.
assume. Overextension.
You know who was injured?
Dropping it on their head?
Yeah.
Is it?
No.
So they would smoke themselves in the face, or the guy.
Oh, like throw it straight up in the air and it would come down.
Yeah, or they just release it and hit their face.
Oh, shit.
Friendly fire. Friendly fire.
Shit.
Or
There are some goofy fucking people out there. The giraffes
guy-
would hit. Wow. Baby giraffe shit. Wow.
So you have a marker in the lane, right down in your lane, who when the ball lands, they go up there and mark it and they measure it. So the marker or the guy marking your standing power throw, sometimes he wasn't paying attention. He would get like biffed by a 10-pound ball to the face. So that's what they said was the most common injury when we were there.
This makes me afraid for the shooting range. That's for sure.
Okay, let's go through these. Let's go through the next one, Caleb. Holy shit. This is great.
Goodness.
This is I'm so glad we found this. Standing power throw. Okay, we did that. Hand release push-ups. Okay, so that you have 2 minutes. So that's 30 a minute to get the best score.
Yeah, so you have to take your hands all like at CrossFit, our hand release push-ups, we just pop our hands off the ground, right?
Yeah.
So these you have to go like all the way out into a T position and then come back in.
Okay. That's legit. I like that. Let me see what the minimum is. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, 10?
Oh no. That's 2 minutes?
To get 10?
I can't wait for you guys to look at the Air Force standards.
Hey, do you guys see shit like this? Do you actually see someone who can't do 10 in 2 minutes?
I haven't yet. No.
Okay, well that's good.
Oh,
That's good. Okay.
Goodness.
10 sprint, drag, carry.
Oh, that's my favorite one.
You're pulling a sled some distance?
Yeah, so 25 meters down, reverse. So it's a 90-pound sled, and then 25 meters back.
Okay.
So first you sprint. You sprint 25 meters down, 25 back. Then you drag the sled. Let's see what else. Sprint, drag, carry, drag the sled. Then you do like a side shuffle, which I don't understand. And then you do a carry. So you have two 40-pound kettlebells in each hand, and you carry it 25 and back. And then you do your last one's sprint again. I think I covered all of them. So you sprint twice, drag, carry the kettlebell, and then you do the side shuffle.
Okay.
Yeah, this one, like I said,
That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
No, okay. Come watch it. It wrecks people. No, it's not bad for us. No, I mean, anybody that's training CrossFit can smoke this.
How much does an ammo can weigh? Like a
I don't
fully
know.
loaded ammo can?
I don't know.
By and
Google
large.
it.
So I wonder if it's
Yeah.
more or less than 44 pounds or 40 pounds.
Anything else, Caleb? On there? Let's do one more, and then I got to get to this question. Hey, maybe you don't know why you pay your affiliate fees. Maybe you don't know why.
I have to pay them to stay open. That's the
plank,
no BS reason.
maintain. Okay, so you have to hold the plank for 3 minutes and 40 seconds. That's legit.
It's a legit plank.
Yeah,
Mhm.
That's legit. Let me see what the bare minimum is.
10
This might be
seconds.
this might be the hardest one. Oh, yeah, that's legit.
Nice.
That's legit. People got to go to war, especially if you've never done a plank.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like an eternity to some people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my wife's fit as shit. She took a Pilates class the other day. She said they had to do 2-minute planks in it. She said that shit was hard.
Yeah, if you're not conditioned to planking, that's tough. As a CrossFitter, you could probably get some capacity in it in like a week, though.
2-mile runs. Wow. That's legit. For wait, let's go see the bottom.
So 13:22.
13. That's good.
Yeah, that's legit.
Okay.
In 22 minutes.
Okay. Wow.
So you could bear crawl it if you had to.
Wow.
Yeah.
23 for the women. Those should be closer. Yeah. Wow. Randy, what do you mean to stay open? You think you have to pay your affiliate? I mean, why not just drop the name CrossFit and just call it Cathal Fit, Catheter Fit?
I mean, I don't know. I like CrossFit. I like what it stands for. I like the community. Like I said, it all comes back to the community ties is what CrossFit strives for to create. And you know, I look back at when I first started, and I had to go back to Kandahar Airfield on a mission. We had to go back and get some supplies. So we usually rested overnight there, and then we would come back in the morning. But I remember going to their little tent gym in Kandahar at Kandahar Airfield, and I went over there and I was going to do a workout. And they had a little section that had, you know, some functional fitness stuff where there were these guys in there. And like when you're deployed, you can tell, like you can pick out who the operators are, you know, your high speed SF guys. And then, you know, there I was just a second lieutenant in the National Guard, you know, from Arkansas. So these guys were in there training and they were kind of doing their own thing. And I wanted to, you know, get in and knock out a wad with them. And man, they were just welcoming, you know, there was no judgment. They weren't like, oh, you're National Guard piece of crap. Like, get out of here. You know, like, hey man, come join us. You know, let's get sweaty and let's get fit. Let's get better. And I was like, you know, that's kind of always stuck with me as far as, you know, that's what the CrossFit community is. And I'm like, wow, that's spread all the way over here to the other side of the world, you know, on Kandahar Airfield. And when you come back, you know, come full circle, CrossFit infected every fitness industry in the world. I mean, would you guys agree?
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean,
Changed the whole industry, forced the industry to change.
Changed everything. Olympic lifting, the way everyone does sports, the NFL, the NBA, changed everything. Major League Baseball changed everything.
Yeah, so you know, gyms. I mean, local gyms in Northeast Arkansas. There wasn't lifting platform. There wasn't bumper plates. You rarely saw kettlebells, a pull-up rig, functional fitness stuff. But you know, after you know, when I moved CFC into Paragould, opened it, you know, we started seeing these other gyms incorporate functional fitness, or CrossFit was infecting their gym, and that's not a bad thing, you know. I mean, they have CrossFit equipment, functional fitness equipment at you know, local gyms around Paragould, and it's really not a bad thing if these people are getting in there and training CrossFit. Does it necessarily mean that they're doing it right or being taught right? Probably not. But it opens the door for them to say, hey, I want to be part of this. I want to get better. And then guess where they're going to come to? It's because we have the knowledge and we have the coaching staff that will get them to where they want to be as far as being fit and healthy. So, you know, it's just kind of, I don't know if you would say, I don't feel like I owe it to them to stay affiliated. I want to stay affiliated because of everything that I've seen CrossFit do for the fitness industry. And then the main thing, what it's done for people. So it's, you know, people helping people. So. Is that good enough?
No.
Suffice.
So,
Fucking not.
wait, just to recap that real quick. So you're paying the affiliate sheep, so that way
Matt doesn't know why he pays his affiliate fees too, so he's probably steal your answer right here.
That's what I'm trying to do. I just want to clarify. So when people ask me, so you stay affiliated because the name is CrossFit there, and that ties you to the larger community of CrossFit.
Mm-hmm.
Would that distill the answer down? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I hear. People do ecstasy and they go to a rave and all of a sudden they like techno music and they think they like techno music. Same thing with the Grateful Dead. People do fucking mushrooms, go to a Grateful Dead concert and they think they like the Grateful Dead because they were in this fucking super high fucking arousal state and something got in there, right? And what I hear is that you went somewhere where maybe you weren't sure if you were going to fit in, but this place where you connected with them, these other people in the military, the way you guys train fitness transcended any differences you might have. That's the story you kind of open with. And I get that too. My mom used to go to a box where it was fucking 200 Filipino people. And she never told me that until the day I went in there. And I was like, you train with 200 Filipino people? She goes, yeah. I was like, why didn't you ever tell me? I don't know. Well, because she worked out with them. Like that wasn't the piece. You know what I mean? Like you transcend it. There's nowhere else where you go and there's a 65-year-old dude with a turban on the left of you and a fucking kid who's 12 years old who lost his foot in a lawnmower accident. There's nowhere you go besides the CrossFit gym where all that shit's happening. It just transcends everything. Even though yesterday someone called in the show and told us a story about how a guy said he wouldn't work out with a black lady, which is just crazy to me. But for the most part, this thing transcends everything.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And that's, and
you want to be a part of that, but so it's a tithing again. You're paying it out of, you're not saying I love the way CrossFit speaks to the world on my behalf. You're not saying that you're happy because the posters they send you at Christmas time. You're not saying that they love it because of all the continued education they send you for free. No, they don't. You can't point to anything. You're not. It's
not the DEI council.
Yeah, you sound like a fucking liberal. It's all about feelings, Mr. Randy. It's all about your feelings. How sweet. Randy has feelings. He likes the way it feels to be a part of the community.
Hey, so you say
conservative people aren't allowed to be. I don't even know if you're really conservative, but you're not allowed to have feelings.
I'm a warm-hearted person.
I know. I can tell. You're fucking warm as shit. It's just it's amazing. I'm saying all of this tongue in cheek because I really do like your answer. So, and I think the world needs to hear it because I think especially the people who work at CrossFit need to hear it. I don't think they realize it's really hard to grasp why why you guys pay affiliate fees, but it's a super valid reason. It's a super valid reason, but it's hard. It's fucking hard to understand.
Yeah. I mean, I can give you an example, just like you said,
please,
working with the Filipinos, and that doesn't matter. Right. But I mean, we have a diverse membership base, and with the I'm not going to get into politics. Don't get me into politics. I have my views, and other people have their views, and we have extreme one side and extreme the other side in our members. And you know what? We don't care. Like, we come in there and train together, and we have a common goal, and it's a kick-ass atmosphere. I mean, it really is. And we don't point that out on each other. It's a common ground. We come in there and I mean, we lift heavy and breathe and hate the workout while we're doing it. But, there's such a diverse crowd in there. But that's, when we come together in CFC, it's nothing but, love for a common goal. And that is to walk out of there that day and be better than when we walked in. So that's one of the reasons, I guess, I pay the affiliate fees, or that I love the CrossFit for the community piece, is it does that, brings people together. So you can have, like you said, a CEO and a janitor on the same floor. And they're all equal.
You're all welcome. They, them, he, her. You're all welcome. Get fit, get strong. Everyone respects someone who's taken personal accountability and responsibility for their health.
Yeah. And again, HQ.
I think it's the most respectful thing you can do, period. Go ahead.
Yeah,
sorry, Susan.
No, I was just going to say, I think HQ is, they're diluting that. They're diluting the fact that it already is open and welcoming to everybody by trying to like force it for no reason other than some sort of agenda.
I think they put the brakes on that, though.
I really hope they have, because
I think they put the brakes on it.
I sound like a broken record, but if they just developed a media team and showed what was going on inside these affiliates, that would speak for itself, and you wouldn't have to do all this other crap.
Although that survey they sent out last week was weird as shit. Did you see that, Randy?
I did not. It's probably in my inbox. So I get to between my other job and what my coworkers call as my hobby, working for the guard full time, and my other job as a box owner. I just probably hadn't opened up that email. It's
some weird shit. So when I ask, if you were to ask me and Matt, hey, are you guys brothers? What you'd really be asking Matt and I, did we come out? Did the same man impregnate the same woman? And did we both come out of the same vagina? That's what you're asking. Most people don't even, but that's it. And there are some questions in this survey that they're basically asking you without asking you, whose genitalia do you want to rub your genitalia on? And it's like, why the fuck is a survey from CrossFit HQ asking box owners that? What?
That's from HQ?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, you'll see it. It's in your inbox, buddy. It's in your inbox. They want to know what your binary quotient is, or so. I don't even know what the fuck they're asking. But if you ask someone what their gender is, you're basically asking them who they want to rub their genitalia on. And it's a bizarre question to ask someone who I don't think it's relevant to box owners. I don't.
No.
I think it's okay to ask what their sex is. If you want to figure out like if the majority of your box owners are male or female, but their sex life is their own private life. If I tell you I'm a male, you're still not asking me who I want to rub my genitalia against, and maybe I want to rub it against Matt's face.
So this is to a poll of box owners. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, it's a survey for box owners they sent out. That kind of shit is just hard. Okay, I take it back. They're not walking it back. They haven't stopped. You're right, Sousa. Okay.
I was gonna say, this question seems like it didn't stop.
Oh, you found it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What? How that's so far off. Sorry to take you finished the show on such a good note, Randy. CrossFit is a science. There's no science in the word gender. It's Dungeons and Dragons. Okay. Thank you for coming on, brother.
Hey, man, I appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah.
Thanks, Randy.
You're a good dude.
Yeah.
You have my phone number. Text me anytime, day or night. I hope I make it out to Arkansas. I want to tell you, when I saw that box, I actually thought, shit, maybe I should look at real estate there and I should move to Arkansas.
We'll build a CrossFit.
I've got an acre behind it you can build on.
You're a good dude.
Podcast.
How's the water? Are you on city water or are you on a well?
City.
Could you dig a well there?
No. I guess I could, but I mean,
is water cheap?
It was when I was on Western Greene County water, and then they switched me over to city, and they charge more.
Yeah, it's so expensive here. You have to have a well in California, or you're fucked.
Yeah, so I threw them under the bus, didn't I? But
all right, brother. I will see you around.
All right, guys. Good to talk to y'all.
Thanks,
Ciao.
Randy. It's 100% of our answers. They do it. All the affiliate owners pay the affiliate fee out of integrity and wanting to stay connected to the community.
I'm incapable of understanding any of the answers.
It's hey, you know why?
I really like him though. That dude would be fun to hang out with and like go camping.
Oh yeah,
he's a cool dude.
And you know why too? Because you said, I'm just gonna speak for myself here when you were like, you don't fucking know why. I was like, oh. You know why? Craig Howard convinced me. If it wasn't for having my discussions with Craig, and it was just a bunch of like, well, if we don't stay connected and try to save it, who will? And I was like, fuck, okay. And then I was like, one more year. Let's see what happens. And so far, we've had, 4 CEOs. Somebody's fired. Somebody's rehired.
It's kind of like you're paying to be part of a train wreck.
Woo, it's
while you save people's lives.
Man. And there's still not shit out on the L1 or L2.
You should send. Did we ever? Can you invite Don to come on the show?
I have. I invited him day one. We could do it again. We'll reach again.
Yeah, just send him out again. Just a nice, hey, Don, we'd love to have you on the podcast.
And I applied to host an L1 at my gym. You guys remember that? I did it live. I got nothing. Not even like a confirmation for thank you for filling it out. I didn't get anything. I got a survey over here.
That's because Sevan Roche's too busy fucking pushing people into. They use their whole media budget on that video, but don't the one where Sevan Roche. It is a really good video.
Hey,
I saw it this morning. It got my dick hard a little bit. I was pretty pumped.
That one. Did you see the interview that he did with Don?
No. Oh, I saw it. I saw part of it for sure.
There's frustration leaking out of him. And sorry, Stefan, if I mischaracterize this, but I watched that interview probably 24 times and maybe even overanalyzed it. But at one point he stops and he looks over and he goes, in head of legal, what's
Marshall Brenner.
Marshall.
Yep.
He goes, and Marshall's gonna hate this, but it is a cure. It is a cure. And I was like, ooh, because you could see that they're talking about it and they're trying to change the terminology from the way that Greg.
Well, that's cool. They released that. You can see that in the interview.
They kept it in the interview. So at least they kept it in the interview. But he says, if you do something and you get a positive outcome that improves your health, by definition, it's a cure. And then he apologized to legal for it and everything else. And Don kind of sat there and I was like, fuck, now we're apologizing. We're apologizing for telling the truth. And you could see it, like you could see that frustration leaking out of him of like, here we have.
Stefan knows. Yeah, he knows. He's the shit.
And anyhow, that was the first thing that I saw. And I was like, fuck, put Stefan in charge. Let's just put him in front of media the whole time and just start releasing it out. Because they're so afraid. Everybody's afraid to tell the truth. They don't,
He looks great too, doesn't he?
Yeah. And I met him. I had the pleasure of meeting him very briefly.
Man.
Got a chance to shake his hand, but yeah, it's really cool. He's exactly like the L1 staff people. Like you meet him and they have this glow, they have this aura about him.
I'm sure he was a flow master. I'm sure Stefan was a flow master.
He was, yeah. And when you talk to these people and you go up there for a minute, there's just some energy. There's just something that kind of like comes off them, and you're just like you want to take on the world afterwards. And if you just started putting cameras in front of these people's face and quit tying their hands behind their back because what they could say or what they can't say, because we got all these fucking CEO and executives from other tech companies that are so wrapped up in all this bureaucracy. If you just ditch all that shit and just talk about the methodology and push the truth, like I think, what was Greg's thing? Let's start with the truth.
Yeah, let's start with the truth.
There we go. Get back to that. Quit being so afraid.
I think we try to use that in our newsletter regularly too.
The one that promotes the L1 every single time.
Yes.
You should stop sending surveys and send L1 coupons to affiliate owners to give to their members.
Can we talk about that Fittest competition real quick? Do we have that link? Sorry, let's make sure we plug those guys. There's I have to go though, but I'm already 15 minutes late. My kids are in the car. But there is a competition coming up called the
Fight for the Fittest.
Fight for the Fittest. We will post a. Can we post a link in the YouTube?
Yeah, Caleb did a little bit earlier. We'll repost it now.
The MFLH Fight for the Fittest Partner Series, November 1st, 2022. You can go to this website. There'll be a link, and you can compete and fight for the fittest. It's a 2-part event, RX divisions, including an online qualifier, followed by an in-person final that will take place at the MFLH gym in Roca Comma, New York.
Yeah, we better see some people sign up from the podcast. Better see Team Badissi on there pretty soon.
Thank you guys for watching. Tomorrow is Friday. I think we're gonna do a live call. Are you around tomorrow morning, Matt?
Yes. Yeah, I could be. We could see if Grace wants to jump in and coach for me at the gym.
I think we're gonna cancel the UFC show because there's not a UFC show this weekend. Thank you, Caleb, for letting me know this morning. And we will talk to all of you guys really soon. But we will be here tomorrow at 7 a.m. with something, or 6 a.m. maybe.